Okay, so in the previous question, we worked this out. We did a trading account. So that worked out the profit we make buying and selling goods. So the basic sum that we have on the right-hand side is sales, and we take away our cost of goods sold, and that gives us our profit. The only problem with this is there are lots of other bills that we may have spent money on to try and run our business that aren't included. Things like wages and rent and stuff aren't included. So we have a trading profit, which is the profit buying and selling goods, and then we have an overall profit. So to separate the two of them, we call this first profit here gross profit. So that's the profit before deductions. If you remember when we did pay slips, gross pay is the pay before your deductions are taken away. So we're going to take away our expenses. So up here we talked about cost of goods sold, now we're talking about expenses. So we're going to take our expenses away, and we're underlining it like we underlined our cost of goods sold because it's a heading. You notice cost of goods sold, there's no number here beside it, and the answer to cost of goods sold was down here. So our expenses, we're going to add all of our expenses and take it away from our profit to get our overall profit, which we're eventually going to call down here net profit. So if we just think of some expenses we may have, so let's say wages, insurance, electricity, and let's say travel, or travel costs, or travel expenses. Okay, so like we did with the previous sum, here's gross profit. I want to take the expenses away, so I need to have a total expenses figure. So I'm going to take my total expenses away from my gross profit, and that's going to give me my net profit. So that means I'm going to move one column to the left and do all of the additions here. So let's say wages, for example, this week are €200. Insurance is, let's say, €150. Electricity is €80. Travel expenses, let's say, is €450. Now, remember what we did before? We want to line everything up so that it makes it easier for us to do the maths. So I'll add all that, I'll highlight all of those. Actually, I'll highlight the net profit as well. And I'm going to line them up on the right so that the units are under the units, the tens are under the tens. And while I'm at it, I'm going to just put in my underline here. I didn't underline above, and I'll go and do that now. So this will be done in a red pen. And the idea is it's just to make everything neater, and it's easier for the examiner to see how you did your maths. So here, there's my gross profit. I'll be adding up all of my expenses and taking them away. So I'll have a total expenses figure here. So I'm going to underline the total expenses figure, and then my net profit will be underneath it. So my total expenses, I'm going to add up everything from the 200 down to the travel expenses of 880. It gives me a total of 880. And to get my net profit, I have my 3,200, which is my gross profit. I'll take away my expenses, and that gives me my net profit. And usually we would, put a euro symbol in front of that to show that this is the main number that we're looking for at the end of the sum. Now, this part of it here is called the profit and loss. The top part of the question is called the trading account. Overall, you might call this an operating statement, but for now we're going to call it a trading profit and loss account, also known as an operating statement. So this is a statement of how well we're operating because of how much profit we're making. I hope that makes sense to you.